Good morning, Dubai. Welcome back to Lovin Dubai Show. Our top stories today. Finally, the full cast has been announced for Netflix new show, Dubai Bling.
And we'll also be talking about how Dubai ranks #1 globally for the highest TikTok views.
We're going to be talking about the Arab Youth Survey. It was released yesterday, and how most youth believe that democracy will never work and they insist on stability instead.
Oh, whoa. Point, I guess. And also we'll be talking about the cleanliness test. A woman walked barefoot across Dubai's World Trade Center.
And do stay tuned, because later in the show we're going to be joined by social media rising star Cameron Biafore on all things motivation and dealing with failure. But before we get into all of that, how do you deal with the pet peeves that just ingrate on your life? Great, like a cheese grater, like you have some things to just get to you,
right? Like your triggers.
Yeah.
That's such a good comparison, cheese grater. Oh my god, yeah, because it feels like that. Like by every single
keeps happening
motion, you just get grinded and grinded.
Like so for example, I was gonna do.
You're gonna do.
I was interrupting.
Oh.
When you're.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make a point.
Yeah, that is definitely
and then I would just
a pet peeve. Like, let me finish, Casey.
I would just want to make my point
so your
over
point
what you were interrupting.
Okay, you
what
speak.
I wanted to interrupting is my biggest pet peeve. When people just don't listen to me.
Right?
Yeah, interrupting.
Interrupting. That's a good one. When someone doesn't let you finish their sentence and they talk over you. Oh, that is so annoying. For me, it's like getting just constant WhatsApp messages. Like I'll tell you what exactly I mean. It's like you send a paragraph with all the information or whatever you want to ask, but no, there are people who go like, hi, how are you? I mean, hi, send, how are you? Send, what's up? Send, what are you doing? Send, tonight, send, question mark, send, like, stop that right now and send a paragraph.
Can we just do this whole show about WhatsApp etiquette? My biggest pet peeve is when someone goes, hey, Casey, how are you? Nothing else.
Oh, that's so annoying.
And I know they don't care how I am. They want something, but they're going to wait for me to respond to start the conversation. I'm like, I need to know exactly what you want before I can actually enter this conversation.
True.
So rather than saying, hey, Casey, how are you? Please just say, hey, Casey, hope all's well. Start with your request. Please.
You have said what all of us have been thinking.
So that I can deal with it. Do you have the same?
Yes, like, get to the point, because no one in today's day and age has the time for small talk. Literally, get to the point.
We know you don't care how we are.
Do we care how we are ourselves?
I'm going to interrupt this live segment by Ali Baba just showed us his phone. Was that messages from Simran?
No.
Oh, messages from Ali to Simran with like 8 messages going.
Hi, how are you? This is me being annoying. Ali, you are annoying without even messaging that.
You are on our WhatsApp blacklist. We're blocking you for 8 hours. We're muting the conversation.
But oh my god, literally get to the point. Number 1. Number 2, send a paragraph of what exactly you want to convey instead of sending those one-liners, and do not interrupt. All our pet peeves. No, I think there are more pet peeves. I'm sure you have some on the road. What are your road pet peeves?
Oh, I had one in my head that really annoys me about Instagram.
What?
So when you're doing anything, the notifications keep coming up. I know I work in social media, I cannot for the life of me figure out how to turn them off. So whenever I'm doing something and I click the top of my screen and a notification comes down and I'm in the middle of someone's story that I did not want to be in, but I'm like the first person watching their live because I've clicked the top of the page. So annoying.
That is beyond.
Can't figure it out. If anyone knows how to turn those off, I am all ears.
Literally, and it takes you away from what you're doing.
So if you're creating a magnificent story,
it's gone.
It's totally gone.
Oh my God, Casey. Yes. And when you're driving tailgaters.
Oh, the people that come up behind you?
Yeah, like literally, like, 1 millimeter behind you. So if you put even the tiniest bit of brake, it's going to be a crash. Those tailgaters, I want to sock them in the face.
Yeah, they deserve it. I don't like the people who go across in front of you without indicating. What's that about? That happened to me yesterday, and I was like, I think this is a beep moment. But the moment had passed, and I was like, that was the beep moment.
Have you not beeped on the road yet?
This big white, not stereotyping, this big white Nissan. And I was like,
it's a Nissan's, always Land Cruisers, Nissans.
It was the big white car. And I was like, even if I beep, I don't think you're going to hear me behind you. Any more for any more?
You should have beeped. I don't know. I feel like I have a lot. I have a full list, but I can't think of it now. You? One more? Any more?
Slow internet really annoys me.
Yeah. Yeah. Trolls, online trolls, haters.
Internet negativity in general.
Well, today's gonna be a sour day.
Anyway, share yours. And on that positive note, we're going to go into our top stories. The full cast has been announced for Netflix's new show, Dubai Bling. And can I tell you, we are living for it. Ever since Netflix Dubai Bling teaser came out, people have been wondering who is starring in this show, which we know is going global. This is going international. So, you know, these stars are going to be well known on the international circuit. And thankfully, the wait is over. So a little recap, if you've been living under a rock, Dubai Bling is a story of millionaires in Dubai and how Netflix has described it. Step off the private jet and into the high-flying social circle in Dubai, where lavish parties, stunning skylines, and jaw-dropping fashion are the norm.
Ooh, so the cast list, you guys, let's give it up for Brianna and Chris Fade, Zina Khoury, Safa Siddiqui, Dania Mohammed, Lojane Omran, Farhana Bodhi, DJ Bliss, Ibrahim Al Samadi, and Lojana J. So it's a star-studded cast, and the funny thing is the show is set to be in Arabic. So I'm just like, I'm like, oh, the whole thing is going to be in Arabic, of course with English subtitles, but I didn't know Chris Fade could speak Arabic. Can he?
I did not know it was going to be in Arabic. He can't speak Arabic.
I think the show is going to be in Arabic. We'll get the
Maybe we saw the dubbed teaser.
Oh, no, because I saw a few reports, but I could be wrong. But if it's in Arabic, that'll be interesting. But maybe a few English lines here and there. We don't know.
But they can't speak. I don't think Brianna can speak Arabic.
Yeah, Brianna can.
So surely,
can
maybe
DJ Bliss, can Farhana Bodhi. So maybe it won't be in Arabic.
That
sounds sus.
Sounds sus. Let's check that. Do you know? Are you going to be watching? Can I tell you there has been divided reports on this? Because it is a show that sells the stereotype that Dubai is super duper glam to the world. However, it feels like if this is a Netflix production, it's so super cool that Netflix have done this production in Dubai. It's the first kind of big scale production that they've done, so it's super exciting. And yes, we are Dubai residents who might be sick of that stereotype, but to the world, you know, Dubai is this ultra glamorous city that, you know, we're about to get to a story as to where the highest TikTok views, you know, the tourism is buzzing and we are so thankful for like a buzzy economy. Shows like this will bring more people to Dubai. Shows like this help Dubai economy. So whether you like it or not, if you're a resident here, this isn't perpetuating a negative stereotype, I don't think. I think it's perpetuating a certain stereotype. And if we want to make more shows like this is the intro, there could be more shows about like, you know, what life in different types of sides of Dubai are about and what like a normal resident does. Fine. This is the ultra glamorous resident and it's cool that Netflix have done a cool production. So I, for one, will be watching on October 27th.
I'm watching it too. I'm with you on that and literally like seconding everything you said. And the thing is, people go like, oh, we are so done with frivolous content. We are so done with all this like fluff and glamour. But that's the thing. That's what people consume. This is what we are all consuming. Hence, this kind of, it's produced for the majority of consumers.
Yeah, and it's a bit of fun.
Yeah, it is fun, yeah.
As in, first of all, you have to ask yourself, are you the type of person that usually watches these shows?
Yeah, 100%.
Me. And I watch these, I consume these reality, I kind of like, it's these shows that you don't have to like fully be 100% in, you can kind of switch off, but still, if you're the type of person that watches these shows, you'll love them. It's not made for everyone.
True. And people are like, why doesn't the Netflix make a documentary on Dubai or the UAE? You know, but the thing is, fine, there are so many documentaries on Netflix. How many of us have actually seen them? Like, for example, Seaspiracy. I can say just a handful of my friends have seen, but something like, I don't know, there was this one show, Billionaire Bad Boys. You know, anything that's glamorous, people just want to see, and like the Kardashians, everyone watches the Kardashians. You know, like in comparison to documentaries, like these kind of shows have a much higher viewership. So it is literally what you guys consume that is produced.
And it will be so interesting to see how the residents receive it and also how it's received internationally. New Netflix doc, Dubai Bling, out at the end of October. Can't wait.
And now we move on to our next story. Dubai ranks #1 globally for highest TikTok views. Now, love it or hate it, TikTok has taken over the digital realm, and it was during peak COVID when the Chinese short-form video sharing app crept into our lives and never really left. So be it entertainment, promotions, skits, dance, motivational videos, tutorials, whatever it may be, the app has pretty much changed the manner in which content is both produced and consumed. And it's no shocker that in recent years, Dubai has become the hub for creatives. The city boasts unparalleled aesthetics and charismatic architecture that makes it the ideal spot for TikTok backdrop. So with all the intrigue surrounding the city, is it any surprise that Dubai has ranked #1 globally for the highest TikTok views?
Like, this is so cool. We've beat London, we've beat New York City. The UAE's golden child has bagged the first spot by a massive margin, according to the World Index, following Dubai, which we have 91.2 billion views. Barcelona ranked second with 60 billion views, and London came third with 42 billion views. Now, earlier this year, the study conducted by Bounce, titled TikTok Travel Index 2022, ranked Dubai as the most popular travel destination, according to TikTok. This means we are massively popular as a city for content creators to want to come to.
Exactly, and the Bounce Index elaborated that it's synonymous with wealth and luxury. Dubai has become one of the most sought-after destinations for holiday makers who want to soak up the sun in style. This ultra-modern city is home to some of the world's most astounding architecture, such as the tallest building on earth, the Burj Khalifa, like we all just cannot get enough of.
Can't. It's my favorite. What's your favorite Dubai building?
I have to say the Museum of the Future.
I still like the Burj. I just think it's like every time I look at it, mind-boggling. People live up there.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
That is. But like, no, I mean, I would never. I just know like the amount of gates you have to pass through to get to your.
So we see the TikTok video about it.
Like, I was like many years ago, a friend of mine who's not a friend anymore. I don't know why. I just lose these kind of cool friends. Like, he had an apartment at Burj Khalifa. He took us there, and like the amount of doors you had to pass to get to the apartment, I was so lost. I was so lost. Like, if I was kidnapped,
I think
would
they
never find my way
intentionally
out.
make it confusing so people don't come back. But I know my favorite building. I'd like to live in an amazing building that looks at it because it's just so stunning.
True.
Let's jump into our next story. This is about the Arab Youth Survey. So one of the key line findings from the survey that was released yesterday, most youth believe that democracy will never work, and they insist on stability instead. Now, the findings of the 14th annual Arab Youth Survey has finally been published. This covers the GCC, so Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Saudi, the UAE, North Africa, Algeria, Egypt, Libya, Morocco, Sudan, Tunisia, and the Levant region, Jordan, Iraq, Lebanon, Palestinian territories, Syria, and Yemen. Now, this is one of the most important research pieces out of the Middle East and North Africa based on youth. So if you're one of the Arab Youth Surveys, they want to understand the attitudes and aspirations of over 200 million people, youth residing in this region. It's a really, really in-depth survey, and it really gives us an idea, and it helps kind of like marketers, it helps research for the years to come, and it's always really key insights.
So here's some of the key highlights on politics. The Arab Spring generation says promoting stability is more important than democracy. And then at 6, religion remains central to the personal identity of young Arabs, yet they want religious institutions to reform. And young Arabs are concerned about the quality of education, lack of jobs, and rising personal debt. And many are turning to entrepreneurship rather than depending on government or private sector jobs. So youth Arabs say the rising cost of living and unemployment are the biggest challenges that they are facing.
Some really interesting insights there. Also, no surprise, for the 11th year running, most young Arabs say that the UAE is the country they would most likely to live in. And they'd also like their nations to emulate. And, you know, these are some key findings, even shared by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President, ruler of the UAE and ruler of Dubai yesterday. He'll always highlight the survey. And it's amazing that, you know, young Arabs internationally want to come here and want to call the UAE home. It only goes to show how kind of progressive and exciting a country that we live in. 2 more key insights. Youth spend more time on social media, struggle to disconnect. Online shopping is booming, and social media is the biggest source of news. Can't disagree there.
No cap. This study is, I think it's hitting all the right points. I think I agree with a majority of the key findings.
Yeah, and finally, young Arabs recorded their highest level of optimism in 3 years And I love this. They say that their best years lie ahead.
Questionable.
I knew you were going to say that. No. How cool is that? Like to have young people who are optimistic. I love it.
That's amazing. Like keep that optimism up, but with global warming and like recessions and stuff, like I don't know.
Stop it.
No.
Stop it.
Let's not get there.
The majority of young Arabs in this survey, it's a mix of languages. Male to female ratio is 50-50. I don't have the full number of the number of people that were surveyed, but obviously it's quite a lot. So it's amazing. So they obviously, cost of living and finding jobs is a key challenge that they face, but yet they are at their highest level of optimism in 3 years, which I know Simran was going to jump into all of the scary things going on in the world today, which there are, and no one's blind to it. These guys are on social media. They're doing their shopping online too, which I don't know if I consider myself a youth, but I know online shopping is booming. Social media is their biggest source of news, which could mean to kind of, you're more, the shock factor is there, but yet they're optimistic. Yeah. It's amazing.
You know what? One of the major points over here is them questioning democracy. And I myself sometimes find myself questioning democracy as well. Like if you compare democratic countries to countries that are, more like, for example, the UAE or Saudi Arabia or let's say China, like the kind of governance it's very different in these countries, and somewhat they're under more control, and you don't see as much like protests and rioting, because when all these things break out, that's when the economy suffers. And I think maybe it's something that should be looked at, democracy.
Well, this is interesting because this is kind of what the survey was saying when they were talking about politics. The response from Arab youth was that the governments have implemented the right policies to address issues important to youth, and therefore you're seeing less kind of anti-government protests in places. And they say the Arab Spring generation says promoting stability is more important than democracy. So as long as the region is stable, that's what people care about. Yeah. Many of the youth believe that we said that democracy will never work. The GCC regions believe that the existing government has implemented the right policies. So the right policies that address the youth concerns, which were listed at and that they look at with these surveys, the key concerns have been addressed, and therefore as long as they're in a stable environment, they don't mind. They've seen what an unstable environment can bring to a country, and that's not what people want. So as long as there is stability, they're happy.
Exactly. And other points he said, like of politics and corruption and all of that. So people like this generation is aware, they are woke, they know what is going on, they know what kind of a change they want to see. So it's interesting that the survey actually highlights all of that. But we move on to our next story, which is quite interesting. So a cleanliness test, a woman walked barefoot across Dubai World Trade Center. So walk a mile or even further in no shoes over here, and you'll have nothing to worry about. And over here, I mean in Dubai, of course, Nidhi Kumar just shared a TikTok video of her walking through one of the busiest spots in town, Dubai World Trade Center. And at the end of her walk, she checks her feet to reveal a clean foot on the camera. So this reel just goes to show just how well kept our lovely city actually is, and her heel shoes were giving her a hard time when she decided to walk barefoot.
This is wild, and I'd love for you to do a test where you are in Dubai. Wardrobe malfunctions, especially shoe malfunctions, are everyday problems. We saw the Cinderella Louboutin and DIFC story only just weeks ago, but very rarely can a person walk through the city barefoot and not have to worry about cleaning their feet after, although we still recommend that you should. So kudos to the management team who obviously work hard to keep us shining and our feet clean, as bright as ever. I have a couple of times I've ended up walking barefoot in public places. My feet aren't always sparkling.
It's a mood.
But this is through a busy destination, DIFC, and the TikTok is obviously going viral because she did the test. The ultimate cleanliness test.
I mean, forget the tissue paper on escalators. This was walking barefoot across World Trade Center. So that's quite a walk. And well, there you go. Feet as clean as day.
Safety. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, like, I have walked barefoot across malls and like commercial centers and all of that, and like I've never really noticed, but I haven't noticed like a big, like just really dirty feet. Like I've never had it. So
we always talk about safety being one of the reasons we love Dubai, but cleanliness. the bathrooms in the malls
Oh my
here,
God, yes.
when I come back through Dubai airport, I'm always like, the bathrooms at the airport are so clean. Whenever you go to a different airport, anywhere in the world, you're like, oh, this is what it's like. Like, we are so lucky, the bathrooms here. Like, I love a clean bathroom.
You're so on point there. I only use the Dubai washroom before I use before I get aboard the plane, and I only use the washroom after I, like land in Dubai. Like I never do it at the destination place ever.
But you've come off a plane. How do you control that?
I can. I have a very good bladder. So, point being that point being is that you're right. Like it's so clean. You're in the comments. You posted the video on Facebook. So someone is like, if I ever see even a fly land on our food while I dine al fresco, I'll be like, no worries. Even the flies in Dubai are clean. And it's like, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
I don't know about that. That is wild.
Like the 5-second rule. Like if you drop food.
Oh, yeah.
You have
5-second rule.
I think in Dubai it's like 20 seconds.
Anywhere. 5-second rule, not wasting food. Someone is saying they agree on the bathrooms. Yeah, like it's just the bathrooms in the malls. Like sometimes you go into a mall bathroom and you're like, why is this nicer than my home? And there's so many like soap dispensers, and then there's like lotion dispensers as well. And then you're like, I'm just gonna smell so good after the bathroom. It's amazing. Okay, we digress. Guys, stay tuned. Very, very shortly we're gonna be live with social media rising star Cameron Biafore. She's gonna be with us right after this. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Now, breaking the mold. This concept is something our guest today strongly advocates and has made it her life mission to become a spokesperson for freedom. Welcome to the show, Cameron Biafore. How are you doing?
Hi guys, this is so exciting. It's so fun. And it wasn't until recently that I recognized that Lovin Dubai was such a bigger thing. Like I started following it on Instagram. I had no idea that you guys were on TikTok, but I stayed relevant with everything because of you guys. So.
Thank you.
I want to ask, like, have you been on any reality series or shows? Because you have such a reality star face. Like, I can totally see you in Love Island or, Love Island types.
I've never been on a reality TV show, but I have almost been on The Bachelorette in America. I was casted for it, but it was in 2020, and because at the time I was living in Bali, Indonesia, they didn't want to fly me over for it because it was, the pandemic happening. So I ended up not being a part of that season, but it all worked out because I ended up living an extraordinary 2020, 2021, which led me to meeting my boyfriend. So I think it was fate that I wasn't on The Bachelorette.
Who you have traveled the world with. We want to get to know you.
Yeah.
Because we know that you've been away for a little bit. Now you're starting your life in Dubai. Your CV could read, if we were to document what it could say: management consultant, executive advising, property developer, founder of Value Feeds, founder of Freedom University, all of these things and more. A Miss Bikini Universe winner. Where did it all start? First of all, where did you grow up?
Yeah, so I grew up in Maryland in the United States, and I, always had a knack for seeing everything, experiencing everything. Even from a young age, I was driving across the country. I've driven across America 7 different times on my own, and even lived all over the country. I went to 3 different unis, one on the East Coast of America, one on the West Coast to be closer to a boyfriend I was in a relationship with at the time. Before finally leaving when I was 21, I couldn't get the funding for my senior year of uni. So instead of going to the city with all my girlfriends and starting working at a Starbucks or, not necessarily going straight into the corporate world, I didn't think that anything was possible. And I didn't even know who I was at the time. So instead of going to the city where everybody was going after college, I decided to book a one-way ticket out of the country. And the rest is history. I've been living and traveling around the world for nearly a decade.
Whoa, that takes guts. Where did you, if you didn't have the finances to go to university, where did you get the finances to travel and stay abroad and all of that?
Yeah, I think for me, I've always really thought outside of the box and looked for a solution rather than always focusing on the problem. And so for me, I couldn't get the funding for senior year, and I tried anything and everything, applied to every credit card, loan, you name it, calling everyone, couldn't get it. And I just thought, you know what, this is a sign it's not in my cards. Let me go figure out who I am anyway outside of the world because I have no idea what I want to do. And I was studying marketing in uni, and that wasn't necessarily something that lit me up per se. Little did I know that was eventually going to be my whole life. And I left the country with $300. That's it. And when I got to Australia, because I booked a one-way ticket to Australia, I met my housemates online before like meeting housemates online was a thing. And the first time I met them was when they picked me up. And anyway.
Because like, when was this?
This was 2014, 15.
Crazy.
Cool. Yeah. And so I get there and I had a couple days to make rent, and they pay rent weekly there. So I was like, the second that I got to Australia, it was really early in the morning, and I was immediately out just applying to jobs all over the city until I eventually got one like 48 hours later. So I've always been such an action taker and not letting limitations or fear overcome like what is possible. And as a result, I've been able to do really, really cool things everywhere.
That's so cool. Just to jump back, when you got when you weren't able to get that funding, you knew that it was a sign to go on and do something else, but like, was that hard? Because imagine you've put this many couple of years into university and then not to be able to finish your final year. Was that tricky? Oh yeah, I mean, I will never forget. It was such a core memory for me, like watching all of my friends walk across the stage from the bleachers and crying about it. Because I value education, I love it so much. Like I read 2 hours a day minimum. I love reading, I love learning, and it was something that I saw myself being, you know, an executive of a company one day. That was always my goal, and you know, far surpassed many other things. But I was so devastated, but I knew that, like, you know, there must be another way to live outside of the traditional route of get a job or go to school, get a job, you know, get married and all the things. And I'm such a rebellious person that I was committed to proving and showing an example of what life could be like out of the norm. And so I kind of made it my life mission again to just do everything different. Nice.
Wow. I mean, that's literally living life without any constraints. Yeah. And when you said you want to experiment everything, you clearly were not kidding. Because like for us, when we say that we want to experiment everything, that's like, you know, trying out new food. And, you know, at the best, like that's it. Like we're not going to go more than that. But for you, like going across the world, staying in Australia, and like, you know, like everything was so last minute. Yeah. And you keep saying like you keep saying science. So do you rely on science a lot?
I really rely on my intuition and feeling, and I'm very observant. So I love psychology, studying human behavior, my own. I put a lot of time on reflecting on myself, my own actions, what I'm doing, how people receive it. And I think that's been really helpful and supportive in like getting out of a sticky situation, getting out of a rock bottom moment, which I've had many. Like after Australia, I got deported and I was homeless. So like you name it, it's happened.
Oh, do tell us.
It was. So I was just really irresponsible, and like my visa ran out at the time, and I was continuing to work on like a bridging visa. And then whenever I went to come back there's a whole gap in the story. Basically, I went to Australia on a working holiday for 1 year, and to extend for a second year, you had to do 3 months on a farm. Now, I would love to do that now. I think it would be such an experience. But at the time, being 21, I don't want to do that. I want to party. So instead, I saved up a bunch of money, and I put myself back in school, and changed my major to entrepreneurship, funny enough. And I was in school for 6 months. And this is when I was also doing the competing and the fitness and stuff. And so I was on a student visa. After that, it ended. I had about 4 months of bridging. And so I couldn't work, but I went on a visa run to Thailand, spent all of my money partying in Thailand, thinking I was going to go back to Australia, go back to work. And then they red flagged me and they said, no, you can't work and you're getting deported. So. Yeah.
And you got deported. What happened after that?
I got deported, and what
does that mean? So when we say, like, I feel like we just throw out this phrase, you got deported. Like, you're at immigration in Australia. Yeah. They're not letting you in.
No.
And they're like, you need to go. Where are you going? Back to Thailand?
I flew in from Malaysia, so they sent me back to Malaysia. But yeah, so I got there. It was like early in the morning. They interrogated me for 3 hours, and I thought telling the truth and like, you know, giving all the information that they would just give me a slap on the wrist. But they gave me they came in after 3 hours of a stack of papers saying you're out, you're getting deported. all I had was a suitcase of bikinis because I was in Thailand, just like partying. And so I was out 12 hours later. They put me in a cell under surveillance. Like, it was crazy. I was like in proper jail. And then they sent me back to Malaysia. Now, ironically, it was crazy, such a pivotal moment for me because I went to Australia with no suitcases and no money. And I was leaving Australia with no suitcases and no money because I only had about $70 at that time. And it was crazy. And that was like such a lesson for me to start really taking my financial seriously, being more responsible. Because from there, I was homeless. I was homeless in Malaysia. I had nowhere to go. And luckily, by the grace of God, I had a bunch of people ask me to like just put up a GoFundMe. I did. And then I woke up to a few $1,000s. And from there, I went back to America.
So you were sitting in Malaysia like, this is a scary time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to put myself in that position. You were alone?
I was alone, yeah.
And you're putting up a GoFundMe page to get the money to leave the country?
It was crazy. Yeah, because I don't necessarily come from a background that could have gotten me out of that situation. It was just all on me. It was just me, or I was going to be homeless. Now, I was committed to getting out of that situation as soon as possible rather than playing victim. Woe is me. I can't believe I'm here. Like, I'm homeless, and like really just spiral into that negative hole. And, you know, I got there, I cried for a couple of days, but I was committed to like, okay, well, I need to figure something out. I need to build something. And that's when I started entrepreneurship. The second I got back to America, I chose California. And ironically, what do you do when you move to LA? You want to be in all the movies or whatever. And so that was a bucket list. I was in a random movie there. A sci-fi film. I've never watched it. Don't know if it was ever released, but it was just like,
what's it called? Maybe someone's seen it.
It's called Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it on IMDb?
It is. It's on IMDb.
I gotta check it out.
And I think it was supposed to come out in 2018, but I've never watched it and I can't find it. So
as long as you got paid for it, that's all that counts.
Yeah, I did, and ate a lot of snacks. They had every single snack you could ever want on set, and I ate all of them.
We should get some snacks for the office, but tell me. So you met Richard Branson.
Yeah.
He is one of the biggest motivational speakers. What were some key lessons that you've taken from him?
Yeah, so I think one major lesson I took from him, we were spending time with Richard in July, and I think that he doesn't take life too serious. And that's huge because I don't take life too serious. And I think that has been such an attribute to being able to live the way that I do and have so many great experiences and grow business. And he doesn't focus on stress, but he focuses on having fun, being playful, being inclusive. And I think when you are very open to anything, to all people, and really focused on impact, you can change the world collectively. So that's what I learned whenever I was there.
Can I just say how casually that was said? Like, we spent time with Richard this summer. Like, how does that even, because I know the photos, you're on Necker Island, which is his private island. Like, how does that come about?
Yeah, so my boyfriend is friends with him, and he is gone to or hang out with Richard a few different times in other places in the world. So we were going back on with a group of entrepreneurs, and it was the most mind-blowing experience because it was a group of 30 of us. But there's people making hydrogen airplanes that were there. Who's 26? There's a 26-year-old girl from France building hydrogen electric airplanes at the moment. And then there's also another person from Australia who's building satellites in space to like, and I mean, there's not much I can say too far, but pretty much changing the medical industry. Okay, but there's just some really cool things that are going on there.
That is impressive.
Yeah,
that's so cool. So, but the thing is, we're talking to you, and I can just feel like you're a motivator, and your audience will say the same thing. And you can kind of dish out this advice. You've been through these rock bottom moments, and you can motivate from that. But what motivates you? Like, what actually encourages you? Like, what's your kind of like trigger that gets you out of bed in the morning, keeps you positive?
Yeah, for me, I'm just really motivated by creativity. I love creating things, working on things, being stimulated mentally. So that's why I read so much, and I love to build things and learn how they work. So every single day I'm motivated by figuring out how to do something I've never done before, breaking the status quo, who said I can't do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And, you know, from living, just by living in Dubai in the last year, I've learned that, you know, nothing is impossible. And being in this environment really, you know, creates a breeding ground for believing that you can do anything. So every morning I'm just like, well, what am I going to do today? What am I going to make next? And just playing with that and believing that that is a possibility.
Woo!
Whoa! There we go.
We good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the
Super cool.
characteristics people need or should develop to succeed in the way that you have?
Resourcefulness, a willingness to adaptation, self-analysis, emotional intelligence, for sure. To be open and willing to go to different events like Tony Robbins, or like, it doesn't even have to be that big. Like, I'm sure there's many different personal development events happening in Dubai, but seeking growth and stretching yourself, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. But I would definitely say resourcefulness and commitment to your life, really.
Write the book, girl. Amazing.
I would read it.
What does freedom mean to you?
Freedom means possibility, and I know I say that word all the time, but it means choices, it means experiences, it means satisfaction, fulfillment, and I believe freedom can be experienced no matter where you are in life, no matter where you're working, where you grew up, what your demographic is. Like, I grew up very lower middle class. All the odds were against me. I like to say, like, I was statistically incorrect, and that's a whole nother story. But you can create anything that you want, and I believe freedom is you know, the opportunity for you to live life to the fullest.
That is incredible. Honestly, your journey is so inspiring, from where you were, you know, like in Malaysia, homeless, and now where you are, you know, just like touring around with Richard Branson, meeting Tony Robbins, all of that. It's so exciting. So, you're a lifestyle expert, right? So, what are some of the main, like the significant lessons you tell your clients? You know, like anything you do, but this and this should be followed.
Yeah. So one of the major things that I always say is nothing has meaning except for the meaning that we give it. And what I mean by that is everything is a story. It's made up. It comes from our imagination. Once upon a time, someone said, this is a computer, and we all ran with it. Once upon a time, someone said, this is a dress, and we all ran with it. But it came from their imagination. And we can recognize that all good, bad, right, wrong come from our imagination. Why are we going to lie about the bad and make up that we're not good enough, that we can't do something, that these are the cards that were dealt against me? You're making it up. You made it up. It's just a thought. And thoughts create feelings, we create emotions, we create actions. So I share with people, it's like, if you're living like really stagnant or not satisfied with where you are, just change the story. Every single day I play life like it's a video game. And it's like, if you're the main character, you get to create the avatar when you're playing a video game, right? What superpowers you have, what you wear. You can choose to use the cheat codes of the game or not. But of course, if you're not using the cheat codes, maybe you might, you know, go through that one level 7,000 times living on repeat. Whereas, like, why don't we just be open to taking the life cheat code, plugging it in, okay, you pass that level onto the next, and it's like the levels of our lives. So I say nothing has meaning except for the meaning that we give it to lots of clients, and I allow them to reinterpret an experience rather than like focus on the negative. What's a positive, more empowering interpretation? And it completely changes the game, truly.
That mindset is incredible, and it's something that, you know, it can be learned. But did you grow up with that? No. I grew up. How did you build that? I grew up in a very toxic environment, and like where it was, you know, go to work, eat, go to sleep. There was no intimacy in the household, no connection. Like, we weren't physically, like, it was just, we all lived, coexisted together. And so I grew up actually very, very unhappy, angry, in a lot of pain, depressed, and actually battled with a lot of mental illness myself, until eventually, when I was about 21, right before going to Australia, I was actually admitted into a mental ward for depression. And I was manically depressed, and I couldn't figure out why I was in so much pain, why I felt like this, because it wasn't me. It was just something I was experiencing, and I just could not understand why I was so angry. And I was there for 4 days, and I'll never forget laying there trying to figure out what got me here, number one. That there has to be a way out of feeling like this, that
I'm not going to let this be the end of my life. And to figure out, being devoted to figuring out psychology and like overcoming the sadness, the anger, the pain, the hate that I want to experience. I used to be so different. And so once I left the hospital, I'll never forget, it's like the lights were brighter outside, and I call it post-traumatic growth, where every day was different from that moment. I was never the same. I remember writing handwritten notes to every single person that I either hurt or was hurt by, just to apologize and take ownership of myself. So I took lots of radical responsibility and ownership. And I just started reading and reading and reading. Like if I was walking down the street, I'm reading. If I was on the tram, I'm reading. I'm listening to an audiobook. If I'm at the gym, I was reading. Like everything, just consuming information to eventually I like to pretend like I'm a little bit of an encyclopedia. That's the goal. I love just learning. And now it's just different.
Okay, what causes cloud seeding? How does cloud seeding happen?
How does cloud seeding happen? Look, guys, if you are going through something, because we all go through things at different stages in our lives, like that is such a powerful message. You've hit rock bottom at many points, and you are, the antithesis of that right now. And just to show you that if anyone's going through something, you can overcome it. Like when we're going through scary, scary stages, like that was so, so touching.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. This is unfortunately all the time we have with you today. I'm a little bit touched by that. How can people get in touch with you if they want to reach out to you in any way?
Get me on Instagram. It's just my first and last name. Just DM me on there, or LinkedIn if you want to work together.
You are incredible, and props to you for going through everything that you have and coming out so much stronger and taking all of that and turning it into something so great.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is so fun, guys.
Thank you so much, guys. It is Thursday morning. We're back with you every single weekday morning, same time, same place. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Thank you. A huge thanks to Cameron Biafore. That is it. Bye-bye.
Hello everyone, it's Hala Bassam from Smashy TV. Are you interested in the latest tech and business news in the region? Then make sure to check out our show Tech Bil Arabi on Smashy TV app and on our website www.smashy.tv. And don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at Smashy TV. Smashy TV for the driven, the dreamers, and the doers, from Monday to Friday at 10 a.m.